we have two Tomcats on display in the main museum. One that is on a monument, literally as the entrance to the museum, and another one on display in Hangar Bay 1.
And the Invader.
Invader night aircraft, JD-1, as you see, it's in service from 44 to 72. Have the venerable Tomcat. This is a great example. We have two Tomcats on display in the main museum. One that is on a monument, literally as the entrance to the museum, and another one on display in Hangar Bay 1. So this is essentially an XS-1 that either another museum may take possession of. We may restore it, but we really don't need three. So it's just here in a holding pattern for now. The C-130 that you see just has a fascinating story. It is the only C-130 to ever land aboard an aircraft carrier. And it did so on USS Forrestal years ago, flown by Flatley, who went on to be a two-star admiral. But this was a proof of concept to see if you could land a large transport plane on an aircraft carrier, and they generated enough wind over the deck that the airplane was able to successfully land and, more importantly, take off again.
So how'd they get, oh, they did get it. They took it off then.
Yeah,
okay.
You bet. And the C-130 is known for its short takeoff and land capability. And with an aircraft carrier, yeah, it's a short runway, but you can generate a tremendous amount of wind over the deck that shortens the distance of both takeoff and landing.
See some of these other aircraft. This is the Neptune. I don't know anything about this aircraft.
It was a shore-based anti-submarine patrol aircraft, essentially used to hunt submarines and other surface aircraft. So again, a maritime surveillance aircraft.
Okay. AJ-2, I don't know that plane.
The Savage is one of our vintage airplanes. Again, I believe it's a shore-based airplane. I don't see the tailhook on it. So, and this airplane beside it is actually a trainer aircraft. It's called the TC-4, TIC-4. If that nose looks familiar, that is the nose to an A6E intruder. And you can see the tram FLIR turret underneath. That airplane was used to train the bombardier navigators, the BNs that flew the A6s. You'd have three students in the back, three possibly more, that were running some of the consoles, and they would actually learn how to do the really, really tough job of terrain following radar. So they could do low altitude, all weather, day, night attack utilizing those radars.
Okay. Then after the DC-3?
The venerable DC-3. And then one of the most distinctive carrier-based airplanes is the Vigilante. The Vigi was a supersonic attack aircraft, really, really just totally sleek-looking airplane.
Yeah, it's really unique. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah. And then here on our right, we have an A4 Skyhawk. For many, many years until it was replaced by the T-45 Goshawk. That was the advanced trainer. That's the airplane that I flew in flight school for advanced training. I carrier qualified in that jet before I ended up getting my wings of gold. As you can see, that's a trainer and it's orange and white. The A4 was a wonderful airplane to fly, and it's still flown by other countries to this day. You literally strap the airplane on. It was tight and really, really nimble aircraft. You see this RF-4 here. That was a Marine RF-4, the photo reconnaissance bird version of the F-4. And then here on your left, you see an array of the EA-3 Sky Warrior. That was an electronic attack version of the venerable A-3. And then we have
refueling pod on there, right?
Yeah, it is, so it could do in-flight refueling. That's a carrier-based airplane, and it was, as I first came into the Navy, that airplane was still flying, and it would make your heart go pitter-patter as that airplane came in to land. C-1 Trader was a carrier onboard delivery aircraft. That's how we would get personnel and mail aboard. It would carry a number of passengers and or cargo.
So what years are these? They're piston engines or radial engines?
Yeah, you can see from 52 to 88. So we had 36 years of service out of that. That was eventually replaced by the C2 Greyhound, which is just recently being phased out in favor of the tilt rotor.
Oh,
So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So these were all piston then, or rotary?
They are. They
radial
are.
engine.
And the S2 Tracker is the anti-submarine version of that same airframe. It was mechanized for carrier-based anti-submarine warfare. And then the E1B Tracker, again, same airframe, was an electronic. That's the forerunner to the E2C Hawkeye.
That looks like it shouldn't be able to fly.
It does seem to defy the laws of aerodynamics. I completely agree.